Let's talk about another absolutely senseless thing, okay, that was said in this comment. And the reason why I keep bringing this up is because I honestly want to understand the damn logic of it. I'm trying to be Dr. Phil here as best as I can be. And I know that I might need a little bit of, you know, maybe therapy myself, but here's the fact of the matter. Okay? I do not understand what this commenter means by religious trauma. There, I could. There's two ways I could go. I could go with this. I could either go the ignorant Southern route, or I could go the mystical route, and I don't know which one this person is really talking about. When you say I have a, I, I am really trying to understand this as best as I can. When you say I have religious trauma, do you mean I grew up with a religious background and can't let go of those religious ideas? Because I can promise you right now, I'm actually some of my worldview is actually in opposition to orthodox religious ideas. Okay, I can tell you that right now. Now, okay, we've gotten that out of the way. Now another way that this guy could be leaning is that what he means by religious trauma could be that I'm rebelling against religion, or that I'm trying to hold on to, dare I say, religious ideas because of the so-called brainwashing, and that I am but I'm trying to come out of it like it's some type of middle thing. The fact of the matter is, atheists, you know, agnostics, people, mystic people. I think atheists might have a little bit of trauma, but I'm not a complete atheist, and I'm never going to be. I don't know how believing is actually not the best word. I don't know how understanding that the universe has the behavioral patterns in it as if it's being dictated, through a higher consciousness, at least to those who are open to it. I don't see how that is in any way, shape, form, size, or any other dimensional form of speech, in any way, shape, or form, a form of religious trauma. What I know is that the universe is either acting as if it's sentient, because a lot of the patterns in the universe, they behave as if they have a design. They're either behaving as if they have a design, or they do have a design. Wouldn't even an atheist agree that that something that looks like it's designed either behaves like it's designed or it is designed? Wouldn't that, just be kind of common sense and just be the default? Well, here's the thing. We can't be so damn sure we know how to differentiate those two. Because human beings act sentient, but how do we know human beings are sentient? Right? This goes into the philosophical question, what is consciousness? So, I think you're mistaking a hope and a inspiration that I have towards divine things as some type of trauma. But I have no clue what you mean by that. Okay? And this idea of these Satanists and stuff trying to dumb down things. This has nothing to do with religious fucking trauma. If you go to and listen, this guy, you think I'm a hothead? Trust me, this guy, he goes way deeper into this stuff than I do. There's this guy, not Mark Tassi, but Mark Passio. I know two Marks that almost have the same name. One of them is Mark Tassi. He's somebody who's more like me. Then there's Mark Passio. Okay, Mark Passio was what you would refer to as a Satanist. He's been in the church. He's been in the lodges. And what he understands is that what these guys do is a form of psychology. It's a form of reverse fucking psychology that they put out in the world. This is not some type of, that their philosophy, their satanic philosophy is what makes them Satanists. You understand? They follow in the same footsteps that, the rebellious dark occultists have done for many millennia. That's just, and what they do is they create power structures. These are people who rule the world. They create power structures. Okay? And a lot of the nonsense that you see in the church, there's a reason this is important. The squid guy that keeps commenting on my seems not to understand this, that this is important because of its implications. This is not, you know those videos, those silly videos where they talk about those Disney movies and they got subliminal messages in them and stuff like that. That's not what this is. At all. I'm not against the Illuminati. In the true purpose of the original word, actually, the original terminology, illumined naughty, I am the Illuminati, actually, believe it or not. Not against it, I am it. So it's the dark occult. It's the people who you can call it dark occult. People get afraid of that word occult. They think it's talking about magic. It's not just talking about magic. It's philosophy. It is a way to get into people's head and make them scared of things that are the foundation of things in the universe. These things like these the pentadecagon and the pentadecagram that I used to generate 360 degrees, there's 5-ness and 3-ness everywhere in nature. Everything is numbers. Everything's 2s and 3s and 5s and things like that. Now, there is a mystical aspect. The mystical aspect is, believing that, certain geometry can be used as a energetic archetype. But that's different. I'm talking about knowledge. I'm talking about actually constructing 360 degrees and realizing that these sacred geometries are actually a good ally and a great asset in the notion of taking the idea of 360 degrees and connecting it to sacred geometry. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, what I'm doing is coming from a scientific point of view. Now, I was critiquing Loren Lockman. I don't know what that has to do with religious trauma. I don't know why all you people think I got some kind of religious fucking trauma. Seriously, write a fucking paragraph on what the hell you were talking about in my comments, because I don't understand what you mean by this. How is common sense? How is just me having experience with things that I can't really tell you because you're not going to believe me? How is that in any way, shape, or form religious trauma? You know, regardless of what a state of consciousness is, there's always a consensus. So, in other words, if enough people see something and, you know, and they say that it's, you know, just delusion, and even the people who, you know, get into these higher states of consciousness, they see it, they refer to it as delusion, then it's delusion. But, you know, there's consensus on every state of consciousness that exists. There's a consensus. And it's because of this strong consensus that I know that these people who enter these higher states of consciousness are not delusional. Because whether you like it or not, the old phrase, I think and therefore I am, is your only reality. It's the only reality you have. The reason why it's not debatable whether or not, you know, this is real is because it's real in my experience. It's real in your experience. Okay? This experience is the reality of this thing. There's a consensus in what this thing is. It's able to control light. So, that consensus is what dictates whether or not this is a delusion. Now, a lot of people can try to say that, you know, when people get into altered states of consciousness and people get into samadhi, that's delusional because, you know, you're altering your consciousness and you're just daydreaming or whatever. But that's not true. People who have actually entered into these states have developed a consensus in these realms of reality, in these realms of existence. And you can't say they're more fake than the reality that we see on a daily basis. Because there's a consensus for it, just like there's a consensus for all these other things. These things are objective. These spiritual realities are not less physical. Actually, in some ways, they are actually even more physical. Believe it or not. So if that said, I would like to know why exactly it is that I have religious trauma. I would love to hear a paragraph and what the hell this has to do with religious trauma, because it's not religious trauma, it's a philosophy.